Alrighty, welcome in to a Getting Technical solo game breakdown brought to you by Better and Green. We have the Michigan State Spartans heading to Minnesota to face off with the Golden Gophers tonight. Spartans an 8.5 point road favorite here, over under 134.5. Let's get right into the game, guys. No promotions. Let's keep this video quick and short. Michigan State off a tough loss at home on Friday night to rival Michigan. And last week, if you remember, before that game, had a rough one out at Rutgers. Rutgers took Michigan State to overtime. State ended up kind of dominating there in the OT period. Did squeak out the win, but kind of a tough week for the Spartans. Moved them back to 10th in the rankings from 7th. Not too far of a fall, but not their best week. Brand new week this week at Minnesota, and then hosting Illinois, 5th-ranked Illinois, on Saturday night. So going to be a huge game there. Like I said, 8.5 point road favorite for the Spartans, over under 134.5. I don't have a play or a feel whatsoever on that spread there. You know, I think it's a nice bounce back spot for Sparty, but on the road, big game on deck. Could be feeling let down. I know obviously they put a huge effort into that Michigan game and didn't get the result they wanted. I don't want to lay 8.5 on the road, but I also don't want to take 8.5 with Minnesota. This is a team who hasn't won since, I believe, January 6th against Iowa. And yeah, they've just I don't want to back them to keep it close. We've seen so many times where a team like Minnesota can keep it close in the first half and then get absolutely blown out in the second half, which if you do want to take a side, I'd maybe look Minnesota first half. But that being said, you know, Michigan State blew out Maryland from start to finish 2 weeks ago. And, you know, it wouldn't shock me if they do the same to Minnesota here. So no real play on the side. I do like the total. I would lean under 134.5, but even more than that, I like Minnesota's team total under 63.5, minus 125. Shop around, find the best line you can get there. But I like Michigan State's defense to really bottle up this Minnesota team. Like I mentioned last week, Michigan State really kind of struggled. Allowed 83 points to Michigan, allowed 79 points to Rutgers. Again, that was in overtime. That was a 73-73 regulation final there, so still allowed 73 points to Rutgers there in regulation. I think they're going to get back to playing defensive basketball, which really is where they found their success this year. I think they kind of let that get away from them last week and obviously struggled, had to fight against a Rutgers team that's really down this year, and then obviously lost to Michigan. Before that, they held Maryland to 48, Oregon to 52, Washington to 63, Indiana to 60, Northwestern to 66, USC to 51, Nebraska, who is now a two-loss team after dropping their last two, but held them to 58 in a loss. So they've really held down a lot of these Big Ten opponents. Obviously, like I said, let Rutgers and Michigan kind of take advantage of them offensively. I think they get back to defensive basketball here, shut down the Minnesota side. I think Minnesota scores in the 50s. So I like Minnesota's team total under 63.5. And then, guys, we're going to look at some props here. Pretty repetitive on the prop side, but I'm going straight back to Jackson Kohler. He's cashed 2 tickets for us in each of the last 2 games, over 11.5 points. You can get that at plus 105. Even odds, is pretty available all around. So again, shop around for that if you do like it. He has landed exactly on 12 in the last 2 games, and in that Rutgers game, he actually only had 7 going into the OT period, got 5 on 2 layups, and then got an and 1 in there as well. So, you know, he's not going far up and over the 11.5, but I do think he actually does get closer to 15, 16 in this game. They really went away from getting him the ball down low, and I think that, you know, not only hurt him, but it hurt the team. He's been very dicey from 3 over really the course of 2026. At one point, was well over a 50% 3-point shooter, and, you know, I think his confidence got slashed a little bit. He did hit 2 against Michigan, so maybe getting some of that confidence back. I think we get at least 1 3 from Kohler tonight, and I do think he gets up and over 11.5 points. I think he's very active down low. I think he can get to the foul line. Very good free throw shooter. So Kohler over 11.5 points at any plus price you can get. I also don't hate Kohler over 1.5 threes. It's plus 160. That line is just absolutely phenomenal. Again, has really kind of struggled in the new year, but did hit it against Michigan. I could definitely see him getting his attempts tonight, and, you know, if he can get some confidence back from outside, like I said, he started the first 2 months of the year as a over 50% free throw shooter. So don't hate that at the plus 160 price. Might sprinkle that one. And then this one kind of hurts, guys, but I kind of like Jeremy Fears under 15.5 points. I know he has been just completely dominant over the last few games. He has been able to take games over, but I don't really expect him to have to do that here against Minnesota. I think the line is just a little bit inflated. He has kind of a lot of heat on him for some of his play in that Michigan game. And, I think people are starting to take notice of Jeremy Fears. He's being talked about as Big Ten Player of the Year, even up there in the conversation with National Player of the Year. So, I think they'll have a good game plan against Jeremy Fears. He's a very good passer, sets up his teammates very well. I don't know that he's going to have to be the guy that takes over the game here. So 15.5, that point total feels a little bit inflated for Jeremy Fears. I would look at the under on Fears points. Just not sure we're going to need him to take over the game like he has had to do each of the last two games. So, guys, that will wrap it for today's getting technical solo game breakdown, Michigan State and Minnesota. Again, trying to break down as many Michigan State games as I can, being a massive Spartan fan here. So let me know what you thought in the comments. If you did like the video, hit that like button for me. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, consider doing so as well. Join us tonight at 4:30 Eastern. We are going live to break down the Super Bowl side total props. We're going to cover everything Super Bowl, our final intentional lounging video of the year. So appreciate you guys joining there. Join us one more time tonight for that breakdown. We just filmed a PGA video for the Waste Management this weekend that will be up today. I'm going to have a video out for the Clash at Bowman Gray, the NASCAR race that goes tonight. Some NBA, NHL, college basketball. We cover everything here at Better and Green, MMA, UFC, soccer. So consider hitting that subscribe button, guys. Thank you as always for watching. Hit that like button. Leave me a comment. Go Green as always. We'll see you next time for another episode of Getting Technical, brought to you by Better and Green.